A love story. Desire, soulmate. Time frame, 2 years. I am gay and a proud man who owns his sexuality. I've tried with all my might to live a lie, denying my true self. I married and I fathered 3 children. In 1968, as an 18-year-old struggling youth and raised in a strict Catholic background, I sought counseling from a parish priest. This was 1968, and I hadn't yet learned to think for myself. He in turn advised me that once I married and proved myself a man by fathering a child, all this garbage, shit, in my head would go away. Alternatively, he suggested an electric shock treatment. A Catholic psychiatrist he knew even used aversion therapy. However, he informed me that if I did not fight against this evil infliction, I was on a pure pathway to hell. The following Sunday night, this priest used the revelations I had told him to give a lecture to my peers in a Catholic youth group, using revelations I discussed with him in a generalized fashion. Not that I revealed anything sleazy or sinful, I merely asked him to help me in my struggles. It wasn't in a confessional booth, so consequently, he believed he was not bound by the seal of confession. Confidentiality did not enter into the equation. I subsequently married and fathered my first child. My then wife had difficulty conceiving due to polycystic ovaries, and following treatment, she conceived. She gave birth to a little cherub we named Roseanne. Both my wife and I were in ecstasy. We just adored her. My wife subsequently conceived again, though unfortunately miscarried early in the pregnancy. This turned out to be a blessing in disguise. At age 3, Roseanne, Rosebud we called her, was stricken with an insidious brainstem tumor. She subsequently died as a result of this because of bodily breakdowns, choking to death. She was 3 years and 5 months old. It was then in the aftermath of grief that all that I had been suppressing for 10 years rose to the surface. I separated from my wife and shared a place with a gay workmate and his partner. This turned into a tumultuous time of loss and mental torment for 8 months. I had a brief relationship in that time. My partner did not believe in monogamy. I found that hard to accept. My wife also had a brief relationship that didn't work. We were about to go forward with divorce when we decided to give the marriage another try, me still believing I had to fight it, my sexuality. In short, we got back together. I fathered another 2 children, Amelia and Michael. I adore them. The marriage lasted 10 years after that. I had become a compulsive workaholic, suppressing my sexuality. We both reached a point where we had both become sick and tired of being sick and tired of the heartache and misery in our lives. I loved her, but did not know how I could completely love her. It was a gigantic wall I did not know how to get over. We separated, and I chose to live a celibate life in a country town where our home was. A small town with a small town mentality. People talked. I was responsible for my 2 children, but moreover accountable for their well-being. My former wife allowed me unlimited access to the children. For this, I was grateful. I could still be there and do the things we always had done together. During this time of separation, I came across a church that was open and receptive to gay people, founded by a former South American Baptist minister. Troy Perry is his name. He was publicly excommunicated from his church because he ousted himself. The church he founded is called Metropolitan Community Church, MCC. I attended there and found true peace in my soul. They helped me see that Jesus was a friend, a mate, not the enemy of gay people. They abide by John 3:16. Read it if you can access it. From that verse I learned that I am a whosoever. Plus a book written by Troy, The Lord is My Shepherd and He Knows I'm Gay, and also another of his book, Do Not Be Afraid Anymore, really empowered me. They also taught me to accept spirituality and leave religion behind me because, as I discovered and explored, religion is for people who are afraid of going to hell. Spirituality is for people who have already known hell. Here I could receive communion and not be rejected from communion because I was gay, something I experienced in the Catholic Church. The gay woman of this church was so beautiful. I have made many wonderful friends with these girls and guys. Wow, how the law of attraction works. I've had 3 relationships in my time since separating. The first lasted a year with an alcoholic and a mild substance abuser. Another was with a good, intelligent and likable guy. Unfortunately, a slothful and compulsive couch potato. This lasted 15 months. Next was an academic, an intellectually arrogant guy. He could be very intimidating. He liked too many vodkas and uppers. This lasted 8 months. Once again, because of my self-worth and limiting thinking, I had attracted these wrong people into my life. So I decided that after this, as I was getting older and wiser, I'll just give relationships a break, go with the flow, enjoying my friends, and having a happy social life. I undertook a diploma in child studies as I was then working with children. I have a wall hanging above my bed of a youthful smiling Jesus. I absolutely love it. After my last breakup with the academic, I used to lie on my bed looking up at that wall hanging and talking to that image of Jesus. It was then that a copy of the book, Ask and It Is Given, came into my hands through a close friend of mine, my former wife. We still care for each other and love each other, but with a special love born from pain. I am so grateful and richly blessed. I thank my angel Rosebud for her part in this. I truly believe this. Asking and believing it is given. I'd look up at Jesus' image and ask, if I am meant to have someone in my life, could you allow that to happen? I just let it go, not being fully conscious of a divine plan that was to unfold. I was too busy studying and doing some charitable outreach programs to guys suffering from HIV, the work of MCC. One Sunday morning, I was awestruck by the presence of a wonderful, courageous soul named Angela, a transgender woman who read a Bible passage for that day. She then followed up with a talk from a book by a theologian named Marcus Borg, titled Meeting Jesus Again for the First Time. She tried and tied it all in with a Bible passage. I was gobsmacked at the intelligence and skill of her interpretation, plus this inner beauty that emanated from her. I later went and spoke to her, telling her how much I enjoyed the talk and how I admired her and honored her true humanity, plus her strength and courage to be who she was truly meant to be. We became church friends, and on one Sunday, a little further down the track, Angela invited me and a few others over for lunch at the church service the week before. On that Sunday morning, I was doing outreach work with the HIV guys, and my mobile was turned off. I arrived at Angela's place to find her in a dressing gown and little worse for wear due to a cold. She postponed the lunch for another week, leaving a message on my turned-off phone. Angela then suggested we go down the road to a local pub in the Rocks area of Sydney where she lived, have a bite to eat, and listen to some great Irish music. I was delighted. I'd grown up with the Irish music. My dad loved it. We ate lunch, The pub was crowded and it was difficult to converse in the musical gaps. We decided to go for a walk around to the Botanic Gardens and have an afternoon coffee. We talked and we talked. Her conversation, I remember, was so stimulating and intelligent, talking about topical things. It was also then I learnt of her passion for cricket. I had grown up in a cricket environment. We also went back to the Irish pub the following Wednesday night and listened to the same or similar music again. It was a wet and cold winter's night. So with work the following day, we called it in an early night. For a year we courted, and eventually, when my flatmate moved out, we moved in together. We've been together for 9 years now. We married in October 2010, having a holy union, a rite of the MCC Church, overlooking the harbour at East Blamane, then celebrating with close friends and my 2 adorable children, Amelia and Michael. In having Angela in my life, using her words, I tell people we are a gay couple living out a straight relationship. For me, I have found happiness I never thought could be possible. We have so many compatibilities, musical tastes being the greatest. We rarely argue. In fact, we both have the ability to diffuse potential problems. We face the challenges and work through them, not swearing the small stuff. Like a lot of other people, we do get stressed when tired. Angela is my true soulmate. I adore her. How the law of attraction has wonderful ways of working. One more happy thing to share. My daughter is off to New York to perform her cabaret show. She wrote, produced, and has staged throughout Australia, winning the Sydney Fringe Festival last spring. It is called Storm in a D Cup, a disarmingly honest production about growing up with a gay dad and dealing with the curveballs life can throw at you. She performs on 42nd Street on the 22nd July 2013. The number 22 is turning up time and time again in life for me. I wonder if this has any specific significance. I'm immensely proud of Amelia and Mike, my son. In hindsight, I've done the best I could possibly do, given the life and the circumstances for me. Phil Ryan can be reached at pathpower.com.au.